Oh, you can definitely go up to anybody at a club and they'll probably have a Juul.
Perfect.
Juuls. These tiny little flash drive looking devices are seen almost everywhere on college campuses today. This cigarette alternative seems to have taken the interest of young people and is only getting more popular. As concerned college students, we decided to talk to our peers who Juul, those who don't, and healthcare scientists to see what they think of the current Juul phenomenon and to see how widespread it really is, and if hitting a Juul today will have serious repercussions in the future.
Okay. And do you agree or disagree with Juuling, and why?
I mean, I think it's a better alternative than cigarettes, but I still don't think it's good.
I'm like in the middle. Like I'm not for, but I'm not like against it.
I think my stance on juuling is sort of neutral in that I think that you should have the freedom to juul, and I don't think that the government necessarily needs to restrict that in any way. But I also think that juuling is unhealthy for you given the addictive qualities to it.
I don't mind it. I mean, I do it. I like to Juul sometimes, especially when I'm out with friends.
I disagree with college kids using it if they haven't smoked before, because if you start using it, chances are you're using it maybe to fit in or something, and it's just going to cause you harm in the long term.
I think college students have an opinion of juuling as a cool thing or just to fit in.
I think most college students think it's stupid and that it's funny, and people who Juul either do it as like a party thing or they're addicted, which is kind of sad.
I would say like as far as like Greek life, like they're like totally for it, and like people that are like partying a lot are more for it, but more like students, like people that are more academic, are not as for it.
I think out of my peers, probably the majority of them juul, at least from what I've seen sort of like in classrooms walking around campus.
Like it's probably 50-50. Half of my friends don't smoke them, and then half of them do it probably like every day.
Well, within Greek life, a lot of people will be using the Juuls. Like when I was pledging, all of my pledge brothers were using Juuls. Like it was like people were just passing them around and stuff. So it was more like a social thing, and like people don't realize like at the end of the day, this is something that you can get addicted to.
I used to Juul like multiple times every hour. Like I never went anywhere without it. It was really bad.
I didn't really get like super like addicted or anything, but we definitely were using it every day, like because it was there.
But I wouldn't go out of my way to buy one. Like if it's there, I'll do it. But if it's not, then it's just like whatever.
And then whenever, not like I don't go through like 4 pods a day like some of my friends. It's ridiculous.
So cigarettes, it's more of a once every so often type of thing versus juuling. You can do like as much as you want throughout the day, and I think that juuling in itself can increase the amount of nicotine that you're getting into your body just because of how often and how frequent that you can do it.
Juul's probably made up of nicotine and
There's nicotine, a lot of nicotine.
Nicotine.
Nicotine and then a bunch of chemicals that I can't pronounce.
I know there's nicotine, but I don't know what else like is in there. It's probably not good.
I know one substance, which is nicotine, but that's about it.
What are those effects that nicotine has on the brain, if you can like name some specifics?
So some of the effects that they know of are that they can change the gene expression of the nicotinic acetylcholine receptors, and so you have the nicotine acting on these receptors, and when you Juul, the nicotine binds to these receptors and then changes the expression and the ability of the nicotine to bind. So in turn, it produces more nicotinic acetylcholine receptors. So you have changes in the expression of these receptors that can ultimately lead to changes in your behavior. I think the major misconception is that people believe that it's safer than compared to smoking cigarettes, that taking in nicotine isn't as harmful as the carcinogenic chemicals found in cigarettes. However, I believe that there's not enough evidence to actually draw those conclusions, so there's this misconception among people that use e-cigarettes or juuling that they're safer.
Okay, so recently, last year actually, I published a paper along with our colleagues here at FSU, and we examined the effects of nicotine on male mice. So male mice were exposed to nicotine for 3 months, and we bred them with naive females and produced their offspring. And what we found was that the male and female offspring of a dad's exposure to nicotine produced ADHD-like symptoms in the offspring. And this was really surprising because this is something that's known when a mom smokes cigarettes when she's pregnant. There's a higher risk of her offspring having ADHD and developmental disorders, but it's not known that a male smoking can actually have the same impact, if not more, on their offspring. So I think it's important to notice that nicotine exposure for males has just as much of an impact as females.
I kind of ignore the health risks, I would say.
I don't justify it. Like, I don't really, like, I know it's bad for you, and I know it is addictive, but I'm not like an unhealthy person. It's just like that one aspect of my life that is not good.
It scares me because it's so prevalent and widespread, and we really don't know a lot about what it's doing to the brain.
If you haven't smoked nicotine, the only reason I see to start is to be cool. So the best day that I had with the Juul was when I lost it. So that was a good moment because there was no point.